Hey everybody, Qroo here. In today's video, I'm going to be addressing something that I hear people say incorrectly a lot, and it's when they talk about the location of something in relation to something else. For example, I live 25 minutes south of here, the hotel's located an hour, east of here, something like that. They get this thing wrong. And it's not that this is a particularly difficult thing to translate. I mean, most of it's very, very clear. It's just they forget one particular word, the preposition a. And the reason is we don't say it in English. We don't say, the beach is located 15 minutes south of here. You're like, what? So to make this very clear, I'm going to break it down into formulas that you can remember just like this. So this is going to be our formula. We're going to be talking about our verb, and I'm going to be giving you several verbs to talk about where things are located. Some of them you may not know. You want to add them to your Spanish toolbox. And then very important, we have a, the preposition a. You won't hear it in English, so you have to learn the formula. Then we're going to have distance or time. For example, something is 8 kilometers from here, or something is 20 minutes from here. Then we have the word de, which means from, and then the other location, right? We're going to keep it really simple. Start with this, and then I'll get into south, north, and all that. So let's say I want to say the beach is 8 kilometers from here. Do you want to try that? Look at that formula. It's 8 kilometers from here. The verb I want you to start with is estar, which means is, right? Look for location. You got it? La playa está a 8 kilómetros de aquí. And I slowed it down because I want you to hear everything. Now, normally when people speak, those A's may blend. That's why you may not have known it was there, okay? But it's there. What if I want to say, the beach is 25 minutes from here? La playa está a 25 minutos de aquí. You've got that, right? Distance, time, boom, plugs it right in. Now I want to give you a couple other verbs to play with, something you can add to your Spanish toolbox. Because even in English, we may say, the beach is 2 miles from here. Or you may say the beach is located 2 miles from here. Well, there's a Spanish equivalent for that, a few of them actually. 2 main verbs you may have are encontrarse. Encontrar means to find. This is literally like saying it finds itself. Think of it as to be located. And ubicarse. Now, when I teach people Spanish, I don't want them to sound like parrots. I want them to understand patterns so they can use their logic in English to make their own sentences. So I've just shown you that encontrarse and ubicarse mean to be located. Obviously, you have to conjugate them. But once you understand that, you're like, okay, I've got that, Paul. So if I say the beach is located 8 kilometers from here, and I want you to use encontrarse, what does that sound like? Ready? I mean, you can pause this if you need to write it out. And sometimes it helps me to write things out. You ready? La playa se encuentra a 8 kilómetros de aquí. What about with ubicarse? Ready? I bet it took less time with that one. La playa se ubica a 8 kilómetros de aquí. That's how it works. Once you understand patterns, you can start to put things together to make your own sentences out of logic. These can be sentences you may never have seen or heard before, but they will be correct. You want to get another verb for something's located somewhere? All right, how about this one? Quedar. Quedar means to remain. It means a lot of things in Spanish. If you look it up in wordreference.com, you're going to see a lot of usages. But one of them is to be located. So if I want to say the beach is located, okay, 8 kilometers from here, and I want to use quedar, I just have to conjugate it. What does that sound like? La playa queda a 8 kilómetros de aquí. Okay, so you've got that, right? You've got some new verbs to play with. You have a very basic formula. But let's say we want to say something like, the beach is 8 kilometers south of here. We may want to say that, right? How do we do that? We're just going to add a little bit to our formula, and we're still going to be using a preposition, the preposition a. What we're really going to be saying is, the beach is, that first a, however you want to remember it, is like 8 kilometers, and then we're going to say to the south of here. Here are directionals, our basic directionals here on the screen, right? The north, el norte, el sur is the south, el este is the east, El oeste is the west. We're going to be saying a to these things. What happens when you have a and el, meaning the, next to each other in Spanish? What do they become? Al. So when we use these, what we're really going to be saying is al norte, right, to the north, al sur, to the south, al este, to the east, and al oeste, to the west. Let's take a look at our formula, because I'm a very visual person. What does that look like? So we're going to have our verb that we're playing with, and we have a lot of options there, right? I mean, we're just talking about stuff being located, but we could even say like, I live 8 kilometers from here. You get a lot of options with the verb. Then we're going to have plus a, so we do not forget that, very, very important, plus the distance or time. And then we're going to have al, and then the directional, plus de, meaning from, and then whatever we want to stick in there, right? I know it sounds long, but it's not, it's not that hard to play with. Let's say I want to say the beach is located 15 minutes north of here. The beach is located 15 minutes north of here, and I want you to play with one of the other verbs I gave you. Let's do encontrarse. You've got this. And I am already out of coffee. I didn't plan this well. And what do I have? The beach was located 15 minutes north of here. Okay, just want to make sure I remember the example. You ready? La playa se encuentra a 15 minutos al norte de aquí. Did you get that? What are the most important things? The a before 15 and the al right before our directional. Now, if I stop the video right now, inevitably somebody would write in the comments, Paul, why don't you add like northeast and northwest and southeast and southwest? All right, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pop them on the screen with al right in front of them. And you can study these later on your own, work through them. So we have al noreste is to the northeast, al noroeste to the northwest, al sureste to the southeast, and al suroeste to the southwest. That wasn't that tough, right? Because we just kind of plug in these things in. You're seeing some patterns here. We love patterns. Let's do one more, okay? Let's use vivir, to live. Maybe you're explaining where you live to someone. And you don't want to give them your actual address because you don't know if they're a stalker, right? You could say, I live 5 kilometers northeast of the city. Okay, I live 5 kilometers northeast of the city. Vivo a 5 kilómetros al noreste de la ciudad. You know what I was worried about? Remembering that example, I was already like, I should have written that down. So, did you get that? I might have spit it out too fast. Hopefully you remember the a and the al. Well, that's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember, give it a thumbs up. And if you really want to boost your Spanish, take it to the next level, you might want to jump over to my private learning group, the Qroo Spanish Crew. I have exclusive lessons, courses you will not find here, and a forum where all the members and we interact to talk about nuances in the Spanish language and really help people reach that next level. So if you want to push yourself, help you get up there to, to fluency, you might want to jump over there. You'll find a link to it in the description section and pinned to the top of the comments. Well, that's all I have. It's time to take the dog out. He's kind of looking at me. So until next time, hasta luego.